everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome in Sakura Art Peace and Winglight. How are you guys doing on this Sunday? Did I start stream a little early today? Yeah. I'm gonna figure out what time I want to do streams, but because I was able to put the video out last night, I feel like I could do a stream earlier because I usually put out the video on a normal day around 12 o'clock, and I don't want to stream at the same time I put out an episode. However, I did it last night. Wrong layer. I did it last night, and so I was like, people can watch the episode, and I don't feel bad about having a stream a little bit earlier. Though, to be fair, this one's probably going to be a short stream, just because, I have activities and responsibilities I must do today. I've got to get more cat food for my little babies, who immediately jumped on my computer the second I tried to start stream. She immediately hopped up here and like quit something, and I was like, no, no, don't quit my program while I'm in the middle of trying to do things. You're killing me. Oh my god. Anyways, today we're doing an illustration, which I might redo a couple of things just because I made things too round. um, Welcome in, FNAF Precure. How are you today? But yeah, they updated the OS for like iPhones and iPads and stuff. And I was like, I've had the same background forever. Like for this one, I have this background, my Cure Nyami background I've got going on here. But you know, Wonderful Precure has come and gone, so I'm going to try to do an illustration this time. And I've been like dying to do some kind of landscape, but I've been lazy and I've not been doing it. So today, I spent like all yesterday doing this. I kind of like got in a zone and I'm like, okay, but I'm like vibing. I'm kind of popping off on this. I gotta keep going. I can't stop. And so I will be working on this a bit today. I doubt I'll finish it because I think I also want to throw in a character somewhere in this scene, but we haven't gotten that far. I also have to figure out how I want to handle stuff. But nonetheless, that's the drawing we're doing in the background for today. And then otherwise, chat is here. And stuff happened this week. There's been very exciting stuff going on. And I want to talk about it. The Nyami background is so cute. I love it. I honestly, it was one of my favorite things I did last year. But I don't think I've been attached to a UN Idol character as much to do one of these. Though, to be fair, if people just want them in general, it would be something I could do if somebody's like, I want to have one of those backgrounds for, like, myself, then I wouldn't mind making them. I do, like, graphic design is my passion. But yeah, I could also just show people how to do something like this, because you could probably do this in Canva if you wanted to, make a background like that. But yeah, in terms of doing this illustrative background, I genuinely have just been scrolling like landscape backgrounds, and I'm just kind of following it along. I've also watched the good old-fashioned Bob Ross tutorials. You're never gonna go wrong. Just make it more anime, and it's a Bob Ross tutorial at the end of the day. And that's been my main thing. I was trying to block out where I want to put the next layer of this green color. Might as well do it here, because I've been bad and not doing things as symmetrically as I should have been doing. Then I get upset at myself, so I'm gonna try to be a little bit better about doing that. Da 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 da. I'm cool is what I think my cat is saying when she bites me. Dude, I do be feeling that with my cat. She comes over and knocks everything over, but with love. It's a sign of affection. But also, for people who can handle a little bit of horror, Knights of Guinevere came out this week, or the pilot episode did, and I'm kind of obsessed. It's kind of my personality. For people who don't know what that is, if you are aware of The Owl House, The Owl House is, by Dana Terrace. Dana Terrace has a somewhat sad TM backstory in regards to, her time with Disney. And so this is her first project with Glitch Productions, who are the people who do things like Amazing Digital Circus and Murder Drones. And they've been working on this project that they've been cooking up, which kind of feels like a revenge story. I think the two other writers whose names I need to not forget who are working on this project with Dana are also ex Disney slash Owl House writers. And it's got a couple of little like it's a little sassy Sue when it comes to Disney and Disney homages, I guess I'll put it in the show. But yeah, it's a more adult animation, which I'm super excited about because I feel like in a sea of nothing but like South Park and stuff, like South Park and Family Guy, which everything has its place, but I'm like, could we not have something that's like adult and it's not just a comedy for Western media? Because I feel like anime is pretty good about having like adult comedies, adult action, adult mystery, just emotional stuff. And America is like, if it's adult, it's toilet humor. It's pee pee poo poo adult humor. And I'm like, okay, but like, can we have an adult series that's not that? And they're like, you mean Rick and Morty? I'm like, no. They're like, Futurama? No. I'm like, can we have an adult series that's animated and it's not just raunchy humor and that's it? That's all I'm asking for. And so I am glad that something like Glitch exists because they've been doing a lot of adult animated series in very recent years that have been incredibly good. And I'm very looking forward to this project. I'm hoping it gets funded, which I feel like it will. But it's really good. We should watch it. It's super, super good. Yes, I watched it and it was fantastic. We got one. We got one person who's hopped on the Knights of Guinevere train. Also, the main character is Blue, and you know how I feel about Blue. You know that Blue is something I'm gonna absolutely be all over. Do. I'm gonna be honest, American live action films, romance is boring. All they talk about is having romantic relationships and nothing else but anime relationships. I do think, like, I think it depends on some of the romance. I think the problem with like films in general, because I think this is an issue too with animated films or like anime films, is that the romance has to be dramatized, and you don't really get the fun of a romance in like rom-coms or like if you watch like a Hallmark movie or something. I feel like you don't get the full vibe that you should get out of the romance, which I do think anime does better. That being said, I do think the romantic shows, as someone who has just suffered this summer I turned pretty and I've been trying to finish this stupid show I shouldn't have watched in the first place. And I'm like, oh my god, it's just pain. When are you gonna put the romance in here? Like, it's like maybe you get one scene a season that's like slightly romantic or they like look into each other's eyes meaningfully for like all of 10 seconds. And then they just keep flashing back to that moment, and then the rest of the time they're just screaming at each other, and I'm like, oh my god, there's no, this is so, please let the show end. I was enjoying it in the first season simply because the cinematography was really nice and the vibes were good, but season 2 was not great, and season 3 I knew was going to be horrible, but I'm like, I just gotta finish it, I committed. And now they're like, oh my god, you know how this show ended with season 3? Just kidding. Movie time. I was like, I don't want a movie. I thought I was free. I thought I was free. This is why anime is peak, exactly. I genuinely, I think anime just values goodness a little bit better. Though, to be fair, there's plenty of terrible romance animes. But, like, as long as the characters interact in a positive and meaningful way, that's already leagues ahead of Western stuff. Because there's other shows that I've watched, mind you, they're more teen drama-y kind of stuff I watched back in the day. But, like, they have such an obsession with having two characters, like, kind of fall in love with each other, have really meaningful interactions, and then in the next 5 seconds, they're like, we're gonna spend a whole season where the two of them never interact with each other. Like, we're gonna have somebody be like, I'm gonna go to space for a season and not be irrelevant any longer, and then I'll come back. And it's like, but I don't, the whole point of the show was you two interacting. Why are you making them not interact with each other? I hate it. It's awful. I don't know what the obsession is with having a season dedicated to separation, and sometimes it goes on for multiple seasons in a row. Nothing like an android getting her intestines used as a rope to start a pilot. That was so insane. Like, when they put it in the trailer, I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. And then they put it in the show, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. Anyways, watch Knights of Guinevere. It looks super good. And I want more. And I like the characters. And it's interesting. American film, all they ever do is yap, which is really weird and I don't like it. Yeah, there's a level of just depending on the show. Especially I think like unfortunately a lot of the really like super popular shows that people have hyperfixate on have been super sensational. And so they're just gonna be a lot of that. And I'm like, okay, but you can do that and do it tastefully at the very least. Like, I mean, albeit I love a good K-drama where the most they'll ever do is like longingly hold hands and they'll never be like even just a kiss scene. Like I'll take some of that. I'll take the slow burn pining. But I I do think the American ones laid on a little thick, and it's like, okay, you guys feel like you keep needing to like power scale your romance arcs, and it's just like, how raunchy can we make it? And I'm like, but what happened to Hello? What happened to longingly staring in each other's eyes? What happened to like emotionally connecting and bonding over some kind of thing or some traumatic experience? Like, what am I asking for a lot? Am I asking for too much here? As an adult, I think American films are boring. Watching Precure fight and become friends is more entertaining. That's so fair. I think it depends on the movie. But that being said, I've also found that I found that a lot of the animated movies in the West have kind of been that aren't indie have been kind of less good. That being said, I did watch, and I guess now it's been kind of a hot minute. I liked things like Raft and stuff like that. Some of the indie ones, what was it? Sea of Monsters? One with the monster in the sea. That one was good. The indie stuff has just been really kicking butt. Though, to be fair, I think some of that is just European, if we were gonna talk about not being American. But yeah, indie film has been doing better. I think having indie plots. Obviously, K-pop Demon Hunters I think was really strong. After having just like a lot of really weak American ones. So, well, I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters is American, but also like Korean American. Something different. Something not Disney. I'm not into romance, so I guess I have seen a series where the emo lesbian resets the universe instead of going to therapy. In other words, Madoka Magica. I was like, that could be a couple of them at this point. There's a couple of shows that now have that like whole plot at this point. But yeah, I think romance also is one of those things that kind of comes and goes for me. I do think I need to make this go up. Romance for me has always like kind of come and gone. I think I just have moods. And then it also depends on the market, because if the market keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again, it's like I get bored. Like my current vendetta in animation too is I'm pretty done with the whole like generational trauma plot line. Like that's like Disney has had like 5 or 6 movies in a row have generational trauma be the villain, and I'm like, if I have to have it be that some older member of the family is the problem and that's the plot twist, I'm gonna lose it. I'm actually gonna lose it. I'm like, the villain can't always be generational trauma, Disney. We can mix it up sometimes. And that's some, there's just like, I don't know, is there any other like plots you guys can think of that has just been the obsession of media at the moment, where you're just like, we've had enough of that. I've had enough of you. And I just need a refresher. I need something different. Other things that have happened this week. I feel like I've just been so like Knights of Guinevere pilled for the last few hours. Because I know I wrote something down for like things that happened this week, things that were interesting. Oh, we had the little shebang happen with Do Re Mi, where they put out the new music video for Do Re Mi, and then took it down, and then they re-uploaded it when they're like, you can have it now, English speaking people. And that was kind of funny. I'm interested to see where the Do Re Mi project is going and how much interest that they're garnering, because it looks like they could just straight up do another season, and if they do, then I need to finish watching Do Re Mi. Da da da. Super off topic, but today I was able to rest because I've been working on a new Maebashi, which is lyrics video. Dude, that's actually super cool. Dude, I love lyric videos. But I'm also a Nightcore junkie, so that stuff is very much my Jimmy Jam. That sounds super duper cool. If you are publishing that anywhere publicly when you are finished, let a girl know. Absolutely will support that. I get uncomfortable when I was doing something like drawing, and then I hear my parents watching a movie. Yeah, that's not the ASMR you really want to listen to while you're just trying to get in the zone and draw. Not the best. Also, I feel like the scenes get a lot longer than they used to be, because it used to be like very brief or like fade to black, but now they're like, we're gonna do it for like 20 minutes, and I was like, you don't have to though. Like, who's sitting here being like, we like it's the same kind of mentality of the people who are like, we're gonna have a boss in a video game and we want the boss to take 3 hours, and it's like, you don't have to do that. Like, you can have a good hard boss to fight in a game and it don't have to take 3 hours. I'm looking at you Final Fantasy devs. I think they gotta chill out. They gotta chill out, you know, take a breather. Think about what you've done. Drawing little grass things. Also, drawing grass and stuff is kind of annoying. Because you're like, oh, I could just, like, you know, wiggle wangle and be done with it. No, there's like, you do have to actually make it look not horrific, which is awful. Requires more effort. By the way, they released the full designs of Pudidun and Metadon's designs and they look absolutely stunning. I saw that on Twitter! Metadon is super pretty. Metadon has a super pretty black dress, and Pudidun's skirt is green, so I'm really happy. They're so cute! They better utilize the heck out of those, because I just realized that they didn't really use them at all this last episode, did they? We finally gave them human forms, and they're like, we'll use those sparingly. Boo. Boo. No sparingly. Use them all the time. Ugh. Bumming me out. Bumming me out with how cute the designs are. And they're like, but what if we just kept them in the marketable plushie forms the entire time? And I'm like, no. No, their human forms are really adorable though, and we don't get to see them much. If you overuse the human forms, then we'll be fine to go back to the fairy forms. It's all about variety. Variety. That's my middle name. Let's be honest, American romance movies aren't that good. All they do is just weird stuff and the same thing. Yeah, I think they're just kind of in a rut of doing what they think is going to make them money. And so they just keep going with it. Hopefully we'll get more. Hopefully they'll be like, I think people are exhausted with what we keep doing because they keep going to foreign films and stuff. Maybe we should switch what we do. Which I'm hoping they do. Like, I really hope, especially with, like, K-pop Demon Hunters and stuff like that, I'm bringing it back to Disney. I really do hope they have a wake-up call with how much, like, people have been like, yeah, you guys have not been doing so hot lately, and maybe it's because the higher-ups keep trying to insert themselves in what the creatives are doing, and then getting upset. That they're like, the creatives ruined it, and it's like, you ruined it, but, you know, pop off, King. But that's neither here nor there. Also, we finished up another core of Priorque. I need to catch up on watching Priorque. I don't know why I've had such a hard time continuing watching that show. I think it's probably, one, it's because it's one of the shows that takes a little bit more effort to watch because it's not super accessible, which has really frustrated me. Because somebody actually brought this up today on me being in the bowels of Reddit once more. Someone brought up, they were like, why didn't the oh, not my computer falling asleep. Why didn't Tokyo Mew Mew New do super well in the West? And it's like, nobody knew it existed. That would be the reason. It was put on a platform that no one uses, and nobody knew it existed. I think it would have done a little bit better if it had, you know, some degree of marketing. But it did not. And that is the primary problem. That's the biggest enemy in the room. And so, where was I going with that? It sucks because stuff is just not advertised very well, and it could be good. I definitely think that we're getting better at having accessibility to some of the Magical Girl stuff that's streamed, but it is a bummer that a lot of it kind of gets overlooked because it's either not streamed at all or streamed in a weird place where people can't find it. Like, I honestly think Pre-Orca would do a lot better in the West if it was just straight up accessible. And I think they've teased that they're putting it somewhere. I don't know if they're like planning to stick it on Netflix and that's why they're waiting to the last second. But like, I genuinely don't think they do themselves any favors by trying to cut the West out of their marketing plans. Like, Precure is doing a lot better in that department by like being like, what if we acknowledge the international fans? And then you have other series that like literally only exist because of international fans interactions. Like, I don't know if you guys know, what's it called? Is it Angel Bullet or Love Bullet? It's the one where it's the lesbian angel one where they play Cupid. That series nearly died, and it literally got saved by overseas fans who were like, "We gotta save the Yuri." And then Magical Girl Dandelion is also another series that has done phenomenally well because of the interactions with the Western world, and the author very graciously has leaned into that, which I think is just better. I don't know why you would ever sit there and have another market and be like, our series is doing just okay. But you know what would make our series do better? If we acknowledged the rest of the market. Instead of being like, don't you dare let anybody who's not Japan touch our failing series. It bums me out. Just like, it's one thing to just be kind of stuck in your ways. It's another to just be bad at marketing. Because I'm like, if money and success are on the line, you gotta market good. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm also working on my 100 sub special. Oh, while I'm listening to Precure's K-pop Demon Hunters AMV. I'll post it tomorrow on my channel. Absolutely, I'll absolutely do that. Let me open a tab for that now so I don't forget. YouTube makes things so annoying. I'm not against it, but let's be honest, I'm kind of tired of Precure's fairies turning into cures. I wish they had something different, like Laura being the first mid-season to become a cure. I know we already have like Precure villains becoming cure, but I wish they had something different, like a person or kind of like Cure Sunshine. I do think they need to mix it up. I think we've had a couple of seasons where like fairies and stuff have become cures, and I think they've been a little bit of experimental with it. But I do think you're right. It's one of those things where they're getting a little repetitive and we could use less repetition. How do I want to do this? I'm like trying to look at the, like looking at the little tiny thing over here, trying to make this not look dumb. I just think I just have to do that. Da 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 da. Can they take a break from fairies becoming cures? I think they probably should. I think, at least in terms of subverting our expectations, it's been a minute since we've had just regular schmegular human be a true mid-season. I'm not really gonna quantify like the ones that we knew from the start who were going to be there in terms of like true plot twist mid-season cure. I think the last regular schmegular person we kind of had, but also was in the villain category, was not Felice, Finale. So I think we're due to just have like a decent human being who is a mid-season, which, mind you, again, I think they try to keep it balanced for the most part. I would say that Precure tries a little bit harder than other seasons do with trying to keep up the variety. But I think it will really come down to whatever the theme is, because they've also been trying to like kind of been doing a bingo board of all the non-human like not fairies, but the non-human cures that they could have, because they did stuff like they did a mermaid one season, they did the Skylandians, they did the Burb boy, they've done the baby, they've done an alien, they've done a spirit. I think they've just been trying to like kind of do a little tic-tac-toe. What weird type of things can we have be the mid-season? So I'm curious what they would do next. I mean, we could always have a monster theme season and we get like a werewolf and a vampire. Who knows what they'll do? I would love it if we just had a regular girl become a mid-season, like the friend of the Cures gets the power. I would love something like Yui. If we get another kind of Yui-esque character who's there. I also really liked Imiru and Hakuto and her becoming a mid-season. I think she was written really well. Okay, I like that. Also, I hear my cat getting into something, and I don't know what that girl is doing, but she's up to no good. She's up to no good. She was very snuggly yesterday, which means she did something bad. She only gets really, really snuggly if she has done something she ought not to have done, and I've yet to figure out what it is, but when I find out what she's done, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get the Beebins. And then she will be got. Do 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 do. Oh, back to The Summer I Turned Pretty. I think the weirdest thing that's been happening since I've watched that, which just quick TLDR on that, that's just it's a romance series with a love triangle going on in it. But the thing that has happened that's been very surreal to witness is that the show kind of ends in France. Like a lot of the last stuff that occurs is in France. And somebody, if not multiple people on the staff for Miraculous Ladybug must have been obsessed with this show because the amount of times that the main account has posted about the show is wild to me. They keep making jokes. They're like, of course the show would end in Paris. The Miraculous team could have told you that Paris is the city of love. And I'm like, not you guys inserting yourselves in this popular show. There's also like one point where a character in the finale is like sad and like all depressed, and then another one comes in like makes them undepressed, and people are making jokes like, "Oh my god, he almost got akumatized. Thank God she came in there at the last second." And they've been making like little clips mashing the show and Miraculous together, and it's super unhinged. It is like the most unhinged marketing I've seen for a while. Like I'm like, that's not the worlds I expected to collide, but here we are. Here has been my trashy romance show of the season, and then a magical girl show. Acknowledging one another. That, or at least one of them's acknowledging the other. It's funny but also a little bit sad. I wonder if we can have something like robots, another human, something else, because I don't want Precure just to repeat the mid-season a bunch of times becoming a cure. That's fair, though we've had a robot. We've technically speaking had Lulu. I wish we had something different because I think different seasons rather than flowers, because flowers is overused. Yeah, flower and food have been the most overused theming I've seen thus far in seasons. I'd love to see something cool. I honestly think Idol was the way that they've handled Idol, I think has been a little bit better than I thought theme-wise. But I want to see them do something a little bit more experimental. Like honestly, I think the animal theme was pretty good. Cuz like animals are still something that could be pretty girly, but like they used it in a creative way that felt kind of refreshing to the franchise. Like I feel like Wonderful was just a lot more surprising and unique than I thought it was going to be. And like again, didn't expect myself to be like the animal season's my favorite, but like I really liked Wonderful. I'm hoping that they can do something more experimental. But I also they're just going to pick stuff that's really popular with like little girls. So who knows what that will end up being next. I'm trying to think of like categories we haven't done because I still think we have not had a season that's genuinely about art. We've had seasons that have art in it. Like I would say Splash Star had art, and then there's a little bit of like the journaling aspect to Star Twinkle, but I really want an art season. That's why I still think we should have pastel weather because like you can combine like weather and seasons and seasonal stuff and then also have pastels because art. Like I wanted the pastel weather link to be so real, dude, because that just sounds like a good theme. And it still fits in the girly stuff. But I do like the people who've had pretty interesting theme suggestions. I really like I'm a sucker for dinosaurs. I know that's never going to happen because I don't think dinosaurs are just that appealing to girls. They could make it work. They could have pastel dinosaurs and call it a day. But I doubt they'll do dinosaurs. Would love dinosaurs though. Detective I think is such a good one. I think like playing detective can be really I think you can make that girly. I would love detective season. But there's been a couple of like good suggestions that people have where I'm like, Toei, get on it. Because Toei's gonna be like floral precure for the 18th time and it's like, okay, but we did that though. Do something different. Or they'll do something I don't want them to do whatever the heck they did with Doki Doki where you're like, that's not really a theme. Like vaguely referencing playing cards and tarot cards is not a theme. I don't do that again. Don't do the not theme. I that one made me mad. As somebody who's a themer, I want a theme. Video games would be so good. Video games would be so good. They teased us. They teased us with the wonderful Precure movie because girl, what I wouldn't do for a video game theme season, that would be so great. Trying to get girls into coding, but also be like, yo, girly. That would be so good. Because they've had video game themed Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider was interesting with their video game theme because they combined being a doctor with being with video games, which I thought was a choice. But to be fair, we also combined being a doctor with pet care and elements in Healing Good. Do 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 do. I'm gonna be honest, Wonderful Precure is good, but the fight is pretty boring. Yeah, but I'd also argue, unfortunately, this season the fights have also been kind of boring. Like I think they were pretty strong at the top of the season, but we really have not had an entertaining fight in the latter half. Admittedly, I've not been really bitten by any kind of fighting bug this season. But yeah, definitely wonderful. I would say that the chase action and stuff was not entertaining. But I think again, if we're going to have a pacifistic season, I'm glad they did it in that one because I have not liked how they handled pacifism otherwise. But that was the only one where it was genuinely well written and justified. My ideal season is more mature, one handling emotions. I think I would like that, but it would have to be kind of an Otona situation. I would love, and it would be probably a spinoff too, because it'd be shorter. I don't think we should necessarily have a full 50 episode run of this. I would love the Dancing Star to have its own animated season, so it's not sitting there stuck behind the performance wall of the stage plays. Like, enough time passes, let's tell the story in anime form because the Dancing Star I think is so clever, and it'd be nice to have like a boy one and we can be like the boy one's over here and then the girl one's over here and we can do them simultaneously so it's not like we're giving up an entire season just to have the boy one. But I would love Dancing Star to have like a 12 to 24 episode run. I think that would be fun depending on like how much they can do within a season. I want another tropical season, but maybe like Paradise Jungle or Parrot, kind of like Brazil. I would love a tropical one that's actually on theme. I would like that. Like my biggest beef with Tropical Rouge is that it's actually a student activities club precure was what that ended up being, and I was like, but why are you guys always in a stuffy club room at the top of a random building when you guys are literally got a beach right there? Like, could you not have your club at least on like a little hut by the beach? Could you not put the school a little bit closer to the beach? Like, heaven forbid, I just want a little bit of beach in my beach season. I that's the only season where I'm like, we can repeat the theme because it's not even repeating the theme. We barely did it to begin with. I'm so salty about so salty about that season. Or maybe Ocean Mermaid season, but they all turned into mermaids. I think Precure would just not do that because they do want to keep the standardized being in a school environment sort of situation. They'd have to have some excuse for them going to a human school or being in like a human normal setting, because that's just like a staple of Precure. Some kind of like day-to-day slice of lifey kind of aspect to it. I don't think they would go full new setting, but that's what something like Pre-Orca is for. Or if you want a good mermaid show, I do recommend Rainbow Bubble Gym is actually pretty good for a mermaid one. I'm super excited for the second season to finally wrap up so we can get the English subtitles and English dub for that. Because I've been really into Rainbow Bubble Gym. I'm thinking of doing a review in the summer for that because I'm trying to do like a theme for next year for the channel, and I kind of want to go all in on mermaids and just knock out a bunch of mermaid stuff because I do be loving mermaids. That's actually when I commented on the Reddit the other day, I forgot that I picked out my tag for the Reddit to be like, what's your favorite magical girl series? And I forgot that I made mine H2O Just Add Water. What's my favorite magical girl series? Obviously the live action Australian mermaid series of the early 2010s. That's my girl. Actually, is it earlier than how old is that? Wait, I gotta ask the question. How old? How old is H2O Just Add Water? It's gonna be really embarrassing. That's 2006. The fact that I'm so wrong about that hurts. Oh no. Oh no, that's awful. Yo, I'm old. Oh my god. Dancing Star is the forgotten child of the Precure franchise. It isn't in Japan. They did just wrap up stage 3, which the fact that it's gotten 2 sequel stage performances is a miracle. It means it's doing good. And so I'm hoping, like, I don't know if they've announced a 4th one or if they're like, you know, they're like, we did 3. Because I feel like once you start to get into high numbers with stage plays, people are like, well, if I didn't watch the first 3, how the heck am I going to know what's going on with the 4th? So, I need to check in with Dancing Star and see what they're doing with that. I do hope, like, I feel like, again, we're moving to the territory where it should just have an anime. Where people can understand the lore. Because if they have an anime, then it's going to be easier for people to watch more stage plays. Because they'll understand the plot. Tropical Rouge Precure should have had mermaid form. That's so sad. Yeah, the fact that Smile did and it didn't is wild. Wild to me that they didn't give them, like, fun mermaid forms. But I think they were just so obsessed with making Laura special that they're like, we can't make them have more mermaid forms because that's Laura's thing. That's Laura's thing. We can't steal that from her. I also wish they did CGI on Tropical Rouge power up for, like, the endings and movies. God, seeing those forms would have been nice. They had pretty forms for the, God, I almost... I've forgotten the regular name because they have the joke name for it. They do the little Jugamo poem bit with that one. But yeah, I think having CG form... I'd honestly... In terms of them sitting there being like, ugh, life is so hard drawing these power-up forms multiple times over. It's so tedious. It's why we have a lot of seasons that don't have power-up forms, because they're really annoying to draw and we don't want to draw them often. We'll mostly just put them in stock footage. I'm like, then make a 3D model. And then you don't have to do much because you have a 3D model. Like they did with Go Princess. Use the power of 3D models. It's your better call. Yeah, that's what they should do. Solves that problem. Oh, the other thing is, I have not played it, but I have enjoyed the memes for, Silksong. If anybody's... Back to gaming. If I can make this about gaming. Silksong has a lot of really good memes, and I've been into that one song from that one little tiny NPC that sings at you. Also has become my obsession. I'm also upset there wasn't any excellent tropical style cutie figures. The fact that Lemaire doesn't have one makes me upset. You know, they've really scaled back on doing power-up figures, and, you know, I've just kind of accepted that as the fate that we live in. But I am forever upset that they didn't do a Lemaire one. She's the only mainline cure that doesn't have a cutie figure. and I'm still salty about it to this day. The yukata season is a necessity. Dude, I really want a traditional wear season so bad. Like, I think it's always the irony that, like, in Japan, and to, like, Japanese children, they're kind of like, oh, traditional season, like, that's so old and, like, dingy. Like, who wants to look like a traditional Japanese person? Like, they're not as fond of it as children. Like, in the same way, and to be fair, with a good reason, like, traditional American wear, if you have, like, either you go the colonial direction or you go the, like, Native American direction, like, both of them have, like, a problem there with both of those. But there's like, that's old timey, and we're not into it, aesthetically speaking, as kids. It's the same thing for Japan. It's why they don't do a lot of traditional based stuff, because kids find that to be like boring and like too educational, I guess is a way to put it. Which I always find wild because I'm like, God, the kimono style stuff is so pretty. But it's kind of a bit. Which is so interesting. Alright, I gotta remember to not make this as detailed because it's farther away and it's not going to be detailed. It's going to be blobbier. Blah 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 blah. And then out the blobs. Then them out. They should not be super blobby. They should be sharp and geometric looking. Blah 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 blah. In case you guys are wondering what the professional art noises are, it's blah 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 blah. Like this, I accidentally did this too detailed. By the way, I found a Kyoka cosplay, woo, for only 43 euros, which is expensive. It's quite expensive, but if I get it from Japan, it's more than 100. But I can't find the boots. That's the problem. Like, that's the one downside to doing niche cosplays, and one of the reasons why, like, I don't always hop on Magical Girl cosplays. It's like, I can get the whole outfit, but if Magical Girl ones have such specific shoes, and then I'm like, but I don't have the specific shoes. It's not, it's so hard. Some of the shoes, I think, in, at least for Maebashi Witches, you can probably make some of it because they're not too weird. Usually it's just like colored laces, but I can't remember what Kyoka's shoes look like. Maebashi Witches. Because in her regular uniform, oh, she do have green shoe though. She has green Geita in her uniform, but in her idol one, isn't it just like white boots with green laces? Yeah, you could probably get like white boots and then swap out the laces for like really long green laces. The problem would probably be the base of the boot, which you could debatably cover, and like if you wanted to be like, I want to use these boots later and have them retain their whiteness, you could just use like maybe masking tape or something to just cover the bottom of the base of the shoe and make it look green and have it match the laces. Like there's definitely DIY possibilities here if you're like dead set on doing this, because we can make it happen if you go for the cosplay. We can make this work. Welcome in, Lottie's Galaxy. How are you today? If Tropical Rouge Precure did an Otana, I think people would show up would be Healing Good, Delicious Party, and Heartcatch, and I think, in my opinion, Laura would try to find a boyfriend. Dang, we're right. We're going straight to the fan fiction. I don't know. I haven't seen Laura as being like a super romance heavy character, though I guess her archetype historically has been kind of like the boys, 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 boys type. I think Laura would just have far too high expectations for somebody to be a partner with her. Da 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 da. I think Manatsu would try to struggle finding a job that she really wants or having the motivation to do taxes while being a mother. I like the fan theories. They're quite creative. Oh, I will say, I'm trying to debate cosplay-wise, since the topic came up. They have the Crystal Sakura outfit up on some stuff, and I've always wanted to purchase that outfit, but I've been like, no, the timing isn't right for that. But I think I might take the dive this time. I think I might do the, like, it's the outfit in opening 1 of Clear Card. I think it's really pretty, and I think I might bite the bullet and grab that one now that it's back on sale and relevant again. There's some particular cosplay site that I saw that's been really hyping up magical girl outfits, which I'm like, thank God. They're like the one thing that if like I used to do hand cosplay and stuff and like sew my own outfits and whatnot. But like magical girl outfits are easily the hardest thing in the universe to do. And I'm like, but I like magical girl outfits. Uh I definitely when I was doing cosplay more regularly and I got into like foam and stuff like that, I did a lot of armored characters because armor is easier than doing a magical girl. Carving out foam and then just soldering it to the shape is significantly easier than doing a magical girl. It's magical girl shoes. They're really the final boss. Is magical girl shoes are the worst part of cosplay, easily. I'm glad, by the way, I really like how you colored background. Thank you. Thank you. We've been doing only like one layer of color the entire time. I can probably start to move to another one. Do the yellow. The yellow highlight. And then I'm gonna realize that I missed some green spots, but we ignore that for now. We'll just do a little bit of yellow highlighting. Ba-ba-ba. I hope the other power-ups, I don't want Idol to end up having the hate like Cure Heart did, but Cure Idol is amazing. I was bummed out that so far Cure Idol's the only one with a power-up, and we know that sometime in the show she's gonna get the red power-up, which may be 2 episodes from now, potentially. I just hope that they, everybody turns red by the end of the season because it's just a color palette swap, man. Everybody can do that. Everybody can be a little bit red. Though that would be a good way to hide, like, the anticipation for this, where they, like, it's a red power up and they all have it and they're like, well, you guys didn't find out because it's just a palette color change and not a full outfit change. We got you. But also, I have not asked the people who've seen the movie how the red power up is utilized. It's mostly we've talked about the God style one. Cha 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 cha. Da, 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 da. One season I will kill to see an Otana miniseries of Star Twinkle. Let's be honest, probably the most interesting on the change and new things that could show up. Yeah, honestly, Star Twinkle I think would be really good. I think a lot of them that teased an adult season would be good. That would be like Heartcatch, Go Princess, and Star Twinkle. All of my favorites, all of my tops would be my recommendation for getting Otanas. But I have a lot of bias. But yeah, Star Twinkle would be an excellent one. It would also just be satisfying to see the teams again. Also, Star Twinkle is one of my absolute faves, so I'm biased back. I feel you. I feel you right there. Otana for either Kira Kira or Star Twinkle. Ooh, tell me what. That's right. Kira Kira also has the age up one at the end. What? Tell me what we would like to see in a Otana for Kira Kira. I want to hear theories. I haven't thought hard about that one, so that one could be pretty interesting. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Am I doing this at the wrong angle? This is the problem where as you guys can see, I like to flip the canvas for some reason at a 90-degree angle from myself. And it just causes me problems in the long run. Do, 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 do. I just hope if they made different Otana Precure, I hope that when they transform, they actually are their age and maybe having a different design like Midnight Days. Yeah. The whole bit where they are like, oh no, we turned into children again and we just have our cure forms from when we were kids was such a cop-out. I think most people didn't like that, which is probably one of the reasons why Midnight Days was better, but also, what's her name? The director for Midnight Days was genuinely like, if I'm gonna work on this, we're not gonna play around. We're gonna do every form, and we're gonna have a little updatey. We're gonna have a full new transformation. It was a good time. Mirai Days was a good time. That's another one that I promised last year that I was going to rewatch, and review all of Mahoutsukai, which I did rewatch Mahoutsukai and I just didn't do my review. Uh, I should do that this year. Should probably actually finish that video. And I'll do it. I could do it in time for Halloween or something. I want to do Halloween themed media this coming October, but what are some suggestions? Because like it would be pretty witch themed. Like I don't know if you guys have any interest in something like Sugar Sugar Rune, or you want to see maybe a live action series thrown into the mix, because I've never seen Practical Magic and people are really hyping up Practical Magic. So I'm like, maybe I gotta get on that. That sounds good. The other things that were like autumnal were like Gilmore Girls, and I have negative interest in Gilmore Girls, admittedly. Nothing about that sounds like it would be up my alley. After, and besides, I just survived the summer I turned pretty. I don't think I could commit to another like romance drama family feud kind of series. I think I'll lose my mind. But yeah, if you guys got witchy suggestions, I'm happy to take some. I also wanted to do potentially the Owl House, because I think I'm definitely going to cover Knights of Guinevere. I would love it if we just had an Otona Kira Kira individual episodes of each of them, so we got to see how they're coping with life. That would be interesting. And then they try to align their schedules and hang out. That would be cute. I admit I would love an Otona season with no magical girl stuff, just a peek in their life. I would love some kind of season where they like catching up with like Precure, and it'd probably have to be short form, kind of like Precure Fairies, but like check in with any of the cures from any of the seasons and just see their like post everything lifestyle, and just have it be kind of a slice of lifey thing. Just a check in with the cures would be kind of fun. I think that would be a neat thing to throw into the mix, because I genuinely like, I'd love to just see the cures interact and like see those personalities kind of come back up again. I missed him. I also think I just would love to see some cures from different seasons interact with each other. I think that's like one of the best parts of the All-Star movies. Mahoutsukai is one I want to rewatch. Mirai Days makes me need to. Was one of the first seasons I watched back then, and my way of watching Precure is very different now, so it'll be interesting. That's another reason why I need to go back and watch some of the Precure seasons, because I think the way I watch shows and then like the opinions I have are greatly different, because I know that there were certain things that really bugged me back in the day that don't bother me as much now. And I wonder like how I would react now to some stuff. I also just realized, and it's been all stream, that the iPad stuff is like not centered. And it's low-key bothering. I'm just gonna low-key fix this midstream. Don't know why that got like severely uncentered. I'm just gonna push that back so it's a little bit better. Da 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 da. If they get cures as mothers, I think they would be excited once they become teenagers and become Precure just like them. I do think like a familial thing could be kind of cute, specifically in seasons where they like have either younger siblings or they have a child. Uh, a generational thing could be interesting, because some other shows have done that, a very Boruto-esque style, but with magical girls. Technically speaking, we deserve Mermaid Melody Aqua, the anime. It's what we deserve. Where it has her daughter in that one. There's a couple of shows that probably could have a generational thing. They could just, they could not be cowards and do Sailor Chibi Moon's team. Do something along those lines. Not that one. This is just too intense. We just need to soften it. I don't know. I don't know. I think I do want to soften it. Also, Mahoutsukai has Miracle, and she's my favorite. Cure for a long time before Princess and Idol stole her place. It is nice to go back to some classics. Oh, they did. I forgot. Right before I started here, they redid all the brushes in here, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. It would be right before I stream that they're like, guess what? All the brushes changed. Too bad for you. You gotta relearn it all. I also realized I didn't refine something I should have refined. Why is it that color? Are we not on the mask? Okay, we are on the mask. Wait. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. I didn't finish it. This must have been where I stopped last night. It's like, why is this undone? I don't know if anybody noticed the meme since, like, Miracle and Whip mixed together is Miracle Whip. Why can't they realize it in Precure merch? You're so right. When are we going to get the destined whipped cream collaboration? It's what we deserve. Oh, that's the other thing that happened this week. Little Witch in the Woods finally released. I don't know if that's a good stream game because it's pretty, like, plot-oriented and a lot of dialogue reading. And I already got Infinity Nikki. I don't need to add another one of those. But, I've been very happy with that. I've been waiting years for that. I don't know if anybody knows Little Witch in the Woods. But that's a very cute, pixely, 2D witch kind of a bit of a little life sim's not the right word for it, but you like learn spells and you live in the forest and you help out the nearby town, kind of like Stardew or Fields of Mystria. And I'm really happy that came out. I've been dying for that. Like honestly, I just want to be a little witch in the woods. I just want to live my little witch in the woods life. And speaking of my dream to be a little witch in the woods, I have finally gotten all the things I needed for my carnivorous plants. How can I make this about my carnivorous plants? I'll find a way, don't you worry. But my carnivorous plants, I finally have my proper grow lights, not glow lights. I finally have those. I finally have the right water for them. And I've got the right pots and everything, and I'm like, oh, my little plant babies. My little plant children are coming to fruition. I love my little plant baby. Alright, this one I'm not gonna make too dark. It doesn't need to seed. Da, 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 da. I've seen the Miracle Whip me. Did they ever say what Setsuna was going to do with Solar and Wester in the last episode of Fresh? Oh my god. You're testing me right now because I do not remember. Girl, I do not remember in the slightest bit. That is too long ago for me to remember. What in the world happened there? Blatant back here because it's too dark. Alright, that kind of looks like... We feel like this looks moderately like a field. Fielding is happening. I probably should have done this before I went in to do more details. Whatever. I do it my way. This just needs to be thinned down a little bit. I hope next year will be better. Fair. So fair. So real. Yeah, okay, we're gonna compile a list. We're gonna do it right now. Which series? Little Witch Academia. Boom. Owl House, Little Witch Academia, Practical Magic. What's the name of that one anime that's in Spanish, but it means witch? It's something Bruja. Of my lack of knowing Spanish, there's that one anime with the, like, short-haired, I want to say it was, like, blondish white, and then the other girl had, like, red hair. That one's a underappreciated anime with a witch. I don't think I'll rewatch Izetta because I don't like the World War II aesthetic. But I need which show suggestions, both anime and non. Or manga. If you got manga or like comic book witches that are like witches, not like Scarlet Witch, but like witch, uh that's also that's the name of a manga too. I need the good suggestions. Oh, that reminds me, we are on the horizon of having, what's it called? Witch Hat Atelier. I need to sit down and just make a list. That would be why that went wrong. Brush too big. Brush too big. Why you ignore, okay. Be like that. Oh, so I did the too dark green. That's one green up. I was like, why is it so dark? It should be matching the color of its friend. That's still the wrong color, but okay. We fix it in post. History and philosophy are gonna kill me. They're tough subjects. Especially philosophy is one of those ones where it's like interesting knowledge, but it's also like they try to gamify arguments, and I'm like, people don't listen to that. If you did something that's invalid, your argument is now invalid, they're like, okay, but I'm still going to yap. I'm still going to say what I'm going to say, and I don't care that I'm invalid. Philosophy was always interesting, if it's that flavor of philosophy, to be fair. All right, now I just gotta start putting like grass doodads places, and this is the hardest part for me, because you're like, oh, you just put it willy-nilly, but then it's like, no, you have to have like some level of decision making, and I'm not good at that. Like, that already looks terrible. That's so hard. I searched which anime and I got recommended the Mahotsukai All-Star season. That's so fair. Kami-chan, welcome in! Art stream, love seeing the creatives taking their time. I've been working forever on the Maibashi AMV. We got so much Maibashi witches love and chat today. Let's go. We love a good AMV. We had an AMV, we had mention of a lyric video. Like, you know what? I'm glad we brought up Maibashi Witches, because that's another one. Our summer witch show. We need more love. We need more love for Maibashi Witches. Full stop. That's a good one. We add it to the list. We add it to our witch list. Why have a wish list when you could have a witch list? I don't think of other good, like, witch shows. And then my cat came in. Hi, honey. Oh my god. I just turn over to see what she's doing, and she has parked it under my desk in the silliest of ways. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know why she's sitting like that. Spread the Maibashi Witches gospel, for real. For real. All must know of the glory of Maibashi Witches. So true, bestie. Thanks to Maibashi Witches, now I have to go to Maibashi when I visit Japan. I know, like, it's, to be honest, I think they did a great job for the tourism aspect of it. They're like, we made this show so that you will go to Maibashi, and I was like, bet. Bet, I want to go. Maybe I find the witches. I feel like that did nothing. Okay, that's because I was zoomed out. Okay, there we go. That feels grassy. Feels like grass has been added to my scene. I really want to find more Tropical Rouge Precure, but Amazon and Japan has a few things right now. Yeah, you have better luck. If you want to find really good any kind of anime secondhand merch, I recommend Bai. And not that this is a good time to buy if you are remotely related to America. But if you want to like just bookmark stuff, I highly recommend Bai. And then you do have to search in Japanese, but the stuff you'll find secondhand on like Mercari or Yahoo Auction is good. Though they recently renamed Yahoo Auction specifically just for international people. It's still called Yahoo Japan in Japan, but they renamed it something funky for people who are shopping there internationally because they realized that we are buying a lot of stuff secondhand. And I was like, okay, be like that if you must. We're gonna get the merchandise one way or another. Can't stop, won't stop. Merchandise. See, I don't know if that was a good place to put my blades of grass. Art's hard. Art is a hard, stressful thing. Oh my god. See, now they look unbalanced. There's no winning in this world. I really want to find... That's not something you find on eBay. Yeah, eBay's really bad. I would not recommend eBay unless it's like a last resort kind of situation for Precure merch. Not only because you're not going to find much, but also because it's going to be demonstratively overpriced. Like, I saw them selling the perfume for Go Princess one time for $60, and I was like, you can get that for $5 secondhand. You do not need to spend a gross amount. Also, if you buy in bulk, like, there's a lot of aunties who will sell their merch, that their kids had, and they're like, I just need this out of the house, and they have no idea how valuable or rare some stuff is. And so they'll sell it for, like, nothing. And that's where you gotta go in for the kill. But yeah, is there anything particular you're trying to find from Tropical Rouge? Can give some advice. I used to do a lot of like merch hunts and recommendations for people back in Z-Day. I love when a series makes people want to go place. It's really beautiful. I like the coolest thing is when people will sit there and something will happen in like a show or whatever, and then they go to that location and they take pictures. I don't know if you guys know of her. There's the how do I say this in such a way that's not gonna bother people? There was a VTuber who still exists but is not in that role anymore, who really liked she liked the Antarctica anime, which I'm trying to remember the name of. But she liked it so much that she was motivated to go to Antarctica, and then she actually went to Antarctica, and that was crazy. And she was like, yeah, I had a good time living in Antarctica for a month. And I was like, that's actually kind of wholesome. That's actually kind of cute that the anime drove you to do that. Or there's people who like, one of the things that's like ironically wholesome is people who like the Yakuza video games. Like that, I never expected those games to just like have such a kind-hearted fan base. But a lot of people have been like, I discovered a lot about Japan, and I've been like motivated to go visit and check stuff out because of the Yakuza games and how they're based on real life locations. And like recently they had one that's based in Hawaii, and a lot of people like went around to the different sites in Hawaii and took like pictures and then would like have them put up against shots from the game. I thought that was kind of neat. I think that kind of stuff is pretty fun. I always find it ironic for a lot of anime will take place in New York, or anything will take place in New York, and it's very funny to see people go around New York City and take like Polaroids of like certain stops or certain buildings and things like that. Or like the Spider-Man game came out, the Insomniac Spider-Man game came out, and people were like taking photos from locations in the video game because it's pretty accurate to the map of New York in some degrees. And I thought that was I think that's kind of cool when people do stuff like that. It motivates you to travel a little bit. There was one creator actually who was a Precure person who actually did a whole vacation going around. I think his name was Cure Waffle, but he did a whole trip where he went around Tokyo and like Kyoto and stuff, and took shots of certain locations from the early Precure movies, which is really cute. I thought that was pretty neat. still kicking myself for not buying Cure Dream Figuarts I saw in Japan in April. They'll come back. She'll come back because the Cure Dream Figuarts specifically, that's the newer one, right? Because they re-released Cure Dream and Cure Peach, right? Have you tried buying something from Etsy before? They have really cool stuff. I've done Etsy, but again, Etsy's a desperation thing. If I can't find something somewhere else or it's like really rare, but again, Etsy tends to be very overpriced. I think I usually use Etsy for like really old Pokemon stuff or like Pokemon stuff that's sold out and it's going to be a little bit overpriced, but not too insanely overpriced. Like I got the Sinistra line from eBay because they immediately sold out in Japan and they only sold it for like $5 more than it was retail, and I was like, whatever, I'll take a $5 upcharge. If we're being completely honest, I think I can survive that if nothing else. Mermaid Aquapod, Cure Summer figure, and some collectibles. Which version of Cure Summer? Because there was like 3. Because was Tropical Rouge the one that had 3 different lines of their cutie figures? They had like the premium. Maybe they only had 2. There's the regular set, there's the premium set, and then there's like a mid-tier set at some point that they did for one of the lines, which was really annoying. I think I take it back. I think that was Taidogaru Sky. They had 3 sets, which was like, just have 2 at best. Or at worst. I hate when TikTok was putting so much misinformation about Japan. It makes me stressed out. Yeah, TikTok is quite a thing. Quite a thing when it comes to information. They do be telling some tall tales on there. Magical Cinnamon went to Japan and he's back. Yeah. He and I are besties. He's been telling me all about his Japan trip. I'm super excited for when he gets settled back in and he can talk more about his journey. He got to see he's one of the people I know who saw the Idol movie. He really, really liked it. And then he also, dude, the merch he's gotten. He also got the thing I did as well, because there's a Tamashii Nations. Obviously, there's Tamashii Nations in-person stores in Japan, but there's like one internationally, and it's in New York City, which is convenient for me. Thank God it's not on the West Coast like everything else. But if you go to the Tamashii Nation store, they have the... God, it was French. It's like Chouette. Chouquette. I don't speak French, I'm so sorry. The figure line that they have there, they have an alternate color that you can only get in stores. You can't buy it online anywhere. And so he got the alternate one for, I literally have it sitting on my desk. It's the Usagi, or no, the Sailor Moon that's holding the crystal and then is sitting on the, like, ionic column with the moon cradle. It's very pretty, but I also have the alternate color where she's a little bit more pastel, and then her back bow is pink instead of white. One of my favorite series outside of Precure is Skate Infinity. That's one of the ones I need to watch because people have been like, it's a little fruity. They've been like, it's a little fruity. I love the series so much. It means so much to me that one of my life goals is to go to Okinawa someday. I really want to go to Okinawa. My thing is like, if I go to Okinawa, that's got to be like the only thing I do when I'm in Japan, because it's essentially like a beach vacation, but Japanese. I debated going to Okinawa the first time or not, the last time I went to Japan. But I looked at my friend and I was like, if we go to Okinawa, we can't pretty much do anything else. And he's like, no. So I think one day I'll do an Okinawa trip, and then I want to do like a Hokkaido trip and do skiing. Do one skiing sort of nature trip and the other one being island adventure. Island tropical adventure. I already have the cutie figure, but I'm missing Cure Papaya. Ooh, that's gonna be tricky. But yeah, if you search Cure Papaya but don't search it in English, search it in Japanese, katakana on Bai, you should be able to find it in like the Mercari section for the Japanese side. Or you can just look at regular Mercari too. TikTok is not a good app anymore. Listen, there's a reason why I don't use it anymore. There's a reason I don't use it. I just remember Nobles. Have you watched RWBY? Yeah, I fully have watched RWBY. I have not not that there's really anything to catch up. I know they've been re-uploading the series since they got bought with Viz. They've been hyping the series back up, and I have not kept up with what they've been doing there. I haven't rewatched it, but I do like RWBY. The only thing I haven't finished, I take it back. I have not finished the anime. I meant to finish Ice Queendom, but it didn't suck me in as much as I would have liked it to. I was kind of hoping they would do a better job of just like animeifying season 1, but it didn't do that as much as I wanted to, and it bummed me out. But I do need to finish Ice Queendom. I just gotta get my motivation back for that. I was super into RWBY, and I think my motivation towards RWBY really tanked when Monty passed away. I need to watch the Idol movie, but I guess we'll wait on it. Yeah, end of February, beginning of March is when we're gonna get that bad boy. We're all in the waiting room for that. Speaking of tropical adventures, a friend of mine is playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure on my Switch. Dude! Oh, got you into playing it. I've been playing it as well. I've been kind of fond of it. I've been a little bit attached, and it's one of the only things I've really interacted with that's Sanrio based, because I'm such a not fully kawaii girly because I don't interact with Sanrio. I think I like knew Hello Kitty and that was about it, and I've always been too shy to get into it. But this has been my gateway to understand some of the characters, because people are like, "What do you mean you don't know who Tuxedo Sam is?" And I was like, "Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. I don't know who that is. I don't know what he do." I miss TikTok when it's full of art creation and cosplay and fun. Yeah, that's why I've stuck with Instagram, but Instagram keeps trying to change my algorithm, because I usually have like people's cute rooms and plants and stuff, but occasionally I'll watch one video game meme video and they're like, "You like video game memes? Here's 1,000 memes." And I was like, "I like memes, but not this much. Less memes, please. I don't want this many memes. I want to go back. I want to see some aesthetic videos. I want people to tell me how rich they are." Oops, I'm gonna take you all with me, just this one. Yep. See, that looks maybe better there. Maybe it doesn't. This is why it's hard. This is why it's hard. How can I make the grass look grassier? When the grass is just not grassing enough. Good news, Volume 10 has been confirmed. I need to check that. I know that they said they were going to continue it with Viz, but I have not heard any major announcements. I will check that after stream, because I probably need to post that in Magical Murmurs if that is the case. I've been so bad with Magical Murmurs lately. I just need to be on top of Magical Girl News. I've been trying to just reset myself since I did all my travels, but like it's been hard. It's been hard to get back into a good normal grind. But I'm hoping things will settle. I should be completely settled by the end of this month. And I'm hoping things will just be really normal for October. October. Da 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 da. It's very comfy, but I also get that. Yeah. He also let's see. He also got the new Max Heart figures. Oh yeah, Leo got he kept being like, "Should I do it?" Because they're lottery. The figures that he got were lottery figures. And he's like, I think he got Shiny Luminous first, and he wanted to get Cure White. And it was really funny because he was in the group chat, and he was like, "Do I pull another? Do I pull another?" And then he's like, "I pulled another." And apparently the woman at the counter, who was like helping him, because you do it at like a convenience store and stuff, was like cheering him on and like got really excited when he got Cure White, and I thought that was super wholesome. A lot of the people have been doing the lottery stuff. Ashley, let me pull up her profile. Highly recommend Ashley. She is someone who lives in Japan, and she like constantly I think her current user is Kakagori Baby. She lives in Japan. She showcases a lot of like what it's like day to day buying Precure merch and like finding it in the stores. I highly recommend her. But yeah, she full-time lives in Japan. So if you ever have like questions in regards to like what it's like to experience Precure firsthand, I highly recommend her. Feel free to comment on any of her stuff. She's very responsive. Welcome in, Alexis. How are you today? We have not missed much. We yapped a little bit about the fact that I'm really happy that Knights of Guinevere came out, the animated series on YouTube for free. It is mature, so if you are younger or you don't like things like gore and swearing, avoid that one like the plague. But if you're into that kind of stuff and you're age appropriate, highly recommend. Highly, highly, highly recommend that. We talked a little bit about Precure and just diversity in terms of like the plot lines they write. We went into a little rant about that. What else have we been talking about? Oh, I'm trying to compile a list of good witch series, anime and not. Anime, manga, Western TV, movies. If you got good witch suggestions, add it. We're gonna add it to the list, and by the list I mean the one that's currently in my brain. And I should write it down physically. I wish Precure was more recognized in America. It'd be easier, and I would find at Walmart and Hot Topic. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm fighting for. But I do think Toei has finally awoken and been like, maybe we should try to let the rest of the world know that Precure exists. And I was like, oh my god, thank God, you guys finally have some marketing sense in you. It's about time. It's about time you acknowledged everyone else. Do do do. I wish to recognize so people wouldn't call it Glitter Force all the time. I don't know why people keep saying Wonderful looked like Glitter Force. I think that's a curse we're just gonna have to eventually shave off when Precure really gets like full on like another dub. And I think it's gonna be a trying time when that happens because I think it's gonna be some growing pains to the people who only know of Glitter Force. But you know, we can't help that. It just be that way sometimes, though. No! Shush! Go away, iPad. I will set up when I want to. You will. And if I don't want to at all. I don't need to be setting up my payment information on stream. That would be very silly. I remember 2 years ago I saw in a store a Cure Pine Q Posket figure, but I wasn't able to buy it. But then I went to the store again and it wasn't there. No! That's the worst. I know at a certain point when I lived in New York, the Kinokuniya had a couple of the Q Posket stuff as well. They had the Precure Q Poskets at one point in time. I think I did that when I was little. There was a Japanese market that was in one of the like what's the best way to put it? A crowded part of the city where I lived at the time. They have a little Tokyo market, and they had the Sweet Precure keychains because Sweet was airing at the time. And I was like, oh, I want those. And then they all got bought. And I was like, when will you bring back the Sweet Precure keychains? And they're like, no, we just got them randomly as a promotional item because they were going into the convenience stores in Japan. And I was like, but me want Sweet Precure keychain. Me have Hibiki, me need Kanade. Me need you to restock. Me have child money and me want to pay for it. And I just didn't understand merchandise. I also felt bad because the woman was trying to explain the idea of a promotional item and how she couldn't get more, but she didn't know English fully. So I was just a little child being like, I mean, no understand why you not have more Kanade. Me want more Kanade keychain. Oh my goodness. I was happy when Glitter Force got removed. I hope they don't use the same dub actors a lot like other animes. I'm gonna be honest, I'm fine with the voice actors being utilized a lot because they need to get paid and they need to have food on the table. I honestly think if you engage more with the voice actors and get to know them as like people and stuff, or especially the ones who are content creators, I promise you your fondness towards them will go up. It'll be easier to enjoy them. I'm a huge supporter of the voice actor community. They try, like, honestly, I'm trying to remember the name. Shirobako. If you've never seen the anime Shirobako, I highly recommend it. It's obviously more Japan focused, but it's pretty true about the anime industry and dubbing industry and stuff like that in the West as well. I highly recommend Shirobako. I got VOD. I want the best for the voice actors and the voice acting community. But yeah, I definitely think also that we do need to have new voice actor events and stuff and get more people in the pipeline as well. I do think sometimes we don't need to have the same person be the main character every single time. But I do like nowadays, like, it's kind of fun to recognize the voice actors and be like, I recognize that voice actor, and then actually remember their name. I think it's, you know, if you gamify it, it's a little bit more fun. If you describe Cure Happy to Akinator, it will say Glitter Lucky before Cure Happy. Oh, we have healing. Healing needs to be done. My friends, Teenage Needs, recognized one of my Precure art books saying, oh, it's Glitter Force, and I was delighted to find the connection. See, that's the thing. That's sweet. Like, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that Glitter Force happened, but I do think it's not... Like, we can't be mad that people are going to call things Glitter Force. I think the only thing is just, like, when people get defensive and they're like, that's not Precure, that's Glitter Force, you just gotta be like, patience, child. Patience, young child. It will be fine. I will hold your hand and tell you this. It was Precure first. And I know you don't want to be wrong. But it was Precure first. And we can get through this. And they're going to be like, no way! And then they'll be the kind of person who tells everybody. They're like, did you know that Glitter Force was actually Precure? It's like a rite of passage nowadays. But yeah, the less defensive you are, the better. The more understanding you are, the better. Alright, let me catch up on chat. Welcome in, Marcos! How are you today? What's the theme for today? The theme of what I'm drawing is I'm trying to draw my new background for my iPad and my iPhone. And I'm being really slow about it. But I'm getting there. It's getting better. I have to do a little bit of cleanup, and then I might throw a character in. Oh, you won't be able to see it. Let me put a new layer. I'm thinking of throwing a character in over here. Like, maybe, like, draw them, and then, like, they're, like, sitting down or something. I'm just gonna do that. That's my illustration. I'm gonna probably put a character over there. I'll see. And then the reason why that this stuff is blue right here is because I'm just gonna take the sky and flip it upside down and be like, oh, it's the river. I just have to... I don't want to merge the sky together because I might animate it. But yeah, that's what we're up to today. It's sad that Smile Precure merch is expensive. It's funny how Glitter Force fans get really mad. Chat, scroll down. Get really mad. It's actually Smile Precure, not English. Yeah, again, I think it's one of those things where they don't know any better. And you have to be very... Like, again, I think the more antagonistic you are about it, the less people are going to really work with you. You gotta sit there and be very patient with kids, and it's usually kids, but also there's people who are older who are like, this is information that I know, and I know it has to be correct, and you're like, okay, I get how you feel. And maybe you don't know that most of the time anime starts in Japan. Occasionally it doesn't. There's very anime-styled shows here in the West that are done in the West. But typically anime stuff comes from Japan first, and it's called Smile Precure. And you gotta be so patient with it, and I'm not sounding as earnest as you need to, but, like, yeah. It's always going to be kind of the back and forth fight. But also, I feel like when they sat there and did something like Smile Precure to Glitter Force, they probably should have sold the merchandise too. Like, that would have not done as poorly as it did if Savon just sat there and sold... I don't know what's with the merch. Just, like, get the merch rights, reprint the merch, and then sell it. Like, you don't even have to, like, make new merch. It's very silly Billy to me. Speaking of Witch magical girls, I always get annoyed when people make a history video on the genre and they say the first magical girl is Bewitched, and I'm like, no, we got misinformation. Shout out to everybody's favorite magical girl anime, the Bewitched, the Western TV series that inspired shows, but it's not an anime. It's like a live action that had like 2D animation like thrown into it. It's funny that Bandai doesn't even do merch for Glitter Force. It's kind of... Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just do that. It was dumb. I don't know why the merch rights... Like, Bandai... I don't know if they had to stick up their butt and they're like, we don't want to make any more fresh... Or not fresh, Smile Precure merchandise. I don't know what was going through everybody's heads when that stuff happened. Alright, I need to find the layer I was on. I don't remember which it was. Is it you? No, you're the yellow. You're in the dark, okay. Catching up. Shirobako is very good, yes. highly recommend Shirobako for somebody if you want like a, it's not going to be like an anime that you watch and you're going to be like I love, well, you might love the characters and stuff, but it's really just to be educational on what the anime industry is like and some of the hardships they face, because like despite being a very cutesy anime, it's very realistic and it's got a very serious tone, but I think educational wise it's good while also being a compelling story. It's odd that Michael wasn't around Night of Guinevere. They can only be but so many places. I guess I like to guess voice actors, both English and Japanese. I try to do my best. It's like a magical day when I guess voice actors on the Japanese side. What was the one that I can recognize? I should know his name. Tsubasa from Precure. I can recognize him. He's pretty, he has a range, but also he's pretty notable. But I knew him because I listened to the Japanese version of Genshin when Genshin was first came out, because I, as much as I think Karina is a fun person, I cannot stand Paimon's voice. So I listened to the Japanese version until the Sumeru update. Then I think I switched to English. Da 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 da. Knights of Guinevere is incredible. Glad I watched it. Yes, more people join us in the Knights of Guinevere camp. It's so good. I lived through Mew Mew Power and like to think I grew strong enough to deal with folks calling it Glitter Force. Yeah. I feel like if you went through some of those generations, you get it. I'm doing great, thanks. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. I'm glad I have fans. I'm glad I have friends. I can read that don't mind that I watch Precure because people in my class are meanies when it comes to anime, especially when it's targeted to girls. Yeah, I'm actually kind of interested. Not like super interested, but it is interesting to hear what it's like to like anime nowadays, because like people were really ignorant on what anime was when I grew up, because basically the girls thought that anime was just baby stuff. They'd like look at Pokemon and be like, this is baby stuff. This is a baby anime for baby diaper baby girls. And then guys would be like, anime is just hentai. And it's very wild. It's very wild because the guys will be like, you're into weird stuff. And the girls will be like, you're a baby. And it's like, welcome to two opposite ends of the spectrum, and neither of which are what I'm watching. To be fair, though, I did watch like Precure and stuff, which was for a younger demographic. But also, I watched Precure at the age you're supposed to watch Precure. Heaven forbid a child watches a child show. But I also think part of where I grew up, unfortunately, I think the age group that I grew up with grew up too fast. Because I think we were allowed to like animated series for like 2.5 seconds before they're immediately like, you need to watch mature live action shows about drama. Like see, no one's gonna even know this. This is how old I am. There was this show called The Secret of the American Teenager, where it's about a girl who gets like pregnant while she's a teenager. And everybody's like, you need to watch this show, and this needs to be the show that you enjoy, not that baby anime garbage. And I'm like, I don't want to watch a show about a teen pregnancy and like a love triangle. That sounds awful. I don't care about that. And they're like, but this is what we watch. And I was like, can our generation watch something else? Like, this was our version of Euphoria. It was garbage. And I was like, why is it bad that I like anime if you guys are watching shit like that? And in retrospect, we all stand there because people were like, what were we watching back in the day? And I was like, what were you watching? Not me. There's no we in this. I don't watch that crap. I watch other crap. I never finished watching Tokyo Mew Mew. I just remember that show. It's long. It's one of the longer ones. I need to rewatch it because I don't remember it all. Speaking of VAs, fun fact about them is that I will always tell to international fans is that Nagisa's voice actress in the Latim dub of Futariwa is the same as Anna from Frozen and Candace from MLP. That's crazy. That's kind of crazy. Crossover. It's always interesting to see where voice actors have been before, because I I was looking up the voice actress for Guinevere because she sounded really familiar, but she mostly worked as a director and did some background characters before being Guinevere, which I thought was kind of interesting. There's a lot of people who were low key voice actor, do more voice actor directing than voice acting themselves, but she knocked it out of the park. Her performance as Guinevere was really good. She nailed the whole like gentle princess vibes really, really well. I was quite pleased. It's Sabon. It's all banned. The best thing about Glitter Force is some people got into pre-gear. Yeah, I think some of my best people that I hang out with now, some of my besties, got into it that way. Like Maho Cloud, who I'll drop her in chat because she's also a fantastic creator. I believe she started with Glitter Force and then was like, now I'm a big Precure fan. Rite of passage. And I'm like, listen, if some of the best people I know in the fandom came from Glitter Force, then I can't hate Glitter Force. Like, it really brought in a lot of amazing people and did spread the word, which is the most important part. The original Japanese dubs are always the best and great. And I have these English dubbed animes I talk about. I love Restaurant from Another World. That's such a good one, too. If I ever do, like, a food theme period, that's gotta be on the list. Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is great, Soul Eater and some. Yeah, some dubs are good and some aren't, or they could have been better. I think the older dubs are a little bit rougher, but I think they were just new to the, dubbing situation, and they were also cheaper. They do not, like, voice actors and game voice actors get paid way better than they used to. I'll say that. In terms of, like, the overall spectrum of voice acting work, they get paid way better than they used to. And for good reason. They do a lot of work, and they've really gotten a lot better. I genuinely think some of the dubs are phenomenally better. Like, I don't really watch Frieren with the sub, because I want to multitask while I do work. And that's one of the reasons why I prefer dub nowadays. If it has a dub and I haven't watched it yet, and it's not currently airing, I'll watch the dub. I watched the dub for Frieren, and I think the Frieren dub was really nice. It's great background noise for doing, again, like art and all sorts of animation and stuff that I do in my free time. And so I really support dubs wholeheartedly. One of these days I'm gonna like my grass. Today's not that day though. This little shrubbery needs some work. Alright, let me make sure I've caught up with chat because I know I keep getting pretty behind. Have you watched any of the Zelda Universe video game dubs? Not recently. I mean, I knew that people would do fan dubs like way back in the day, but I haven't heard any recent ones. If you have any particular names, if that is, that might just be the name. But if you've got particular ones to recommend, and I'll write them down. I remember I was in high school in the mid 2010s. Anime nerd was a thing. Yeah, there's always that one person who went anime nerd back then. The Zelda Universe, okay, so it is it is a group. The Zelda Universe does chapters of series of voice acting for video games, and they hire many talented voice actors. That's pretty cool. I especially think Nintendo games, above all else, need dubs. And it's weird that they historically have not. Like, Pokemon being undubbed since, like, I probably argue, like, Sword and Shield should have been dubbed, and then it's really awkward that Scarlet and Violet are not dubbed. Like, it's either they needed to have a much better soundtrack or do Animalese like they do with Animal Crossing. But like when the characters, like, they have the Foley for like characters like flinging their arms around or like passionately moving, but then they're saying nothing. And it's really weird. They need to just add voice acting to Pokemon. People who did fan dubbing for Pokemon back when the last few games released, honestly knocked it out of the park, especially with like Team Star and stuff. Even Kira Buckland, who played Zelda in the Ocarina of Time dub. Ooh, I'll look into that. I remember I did a project in Latin about mythology and included Sailor Moon. The teacher actually really liked that I included it, but people in the class were like, oh my god, a boy talking about Sailor Moon. Lame! Lame, your classmates are lame. Gender means nothing. Sailor Moon's cool, and Sailor Moon has so many references to like it's a combination of like really interesting Greek and Roman mythology mixed in with God, what's her name? Kaguya Hime, the bamboo cutter tale. And it's a really interesting mash. I think they also a little bit of Chinese mythology too, because like there's the whole bunny in the moon, the rabbit in the moon's a Chinese thing if I remember correctly. My first contact with Precure was Glitter Force, I think around in 2018, but never watched it. And then I got into Pretty Cure with Hidogaru Sky. Ooh, that's a very recent one that you got into. We love that. We love hearing about any new members. Welcome to the club. You've come in at a good time. I hope you enjoyed Hidogaru Sky and the subsequent seasons that you have seen since then. So annoying. Yeah, your classmates sound terrible. Don't worry, they go away. You go to college and nobody will judge you anymore. It's fantastic. It took me a month to realize that Precure, and I love Precure. There you go. There you go. That's how it is. I watched Glitter 4. Why can I not read? Glitter Force, not Glitter 4. There's not. I guess in some cases there might be 4 of them. Since November 2018. In December, I noticed that there was a lot of Precure and loved it. And then 2019, I started to get into Precure more. There you go. We love that. There's a YouTube channel called Gonzalo. I can read. Abrezgo? Correct. Give me a spelling pronunciation if I'm messing that up, by all means. That does endings with Glitter Force music, and that's how I discovered Precure. That's cute. That's so wholesome. See, that's what I do love. Like, fan creation is such a wonderful way to get people into it. Favorite evolution. Oh, I'm a basic girl, and I like Sylveon, but second place is probably Leafeon. Scarlet and Violet would have benefited so much from voice acting. Thank God someone's thinking the same. You get me! You get me! The voice actress, Monica Riel, is one of the legendary voice actresses in anime and video games. She plays anybody and has some distinct voices and familiar. I'm gonna have to look at that one. I don't recognize her name off the top of my head, but I gotta add another one to my repertoire of knowledge. Hey guys, welcome in. Rosie, how are you today? Do you have any favorite voice actors or voice actresses in the English language? I'm pretty basic in the sense that I obviously the VTuber sphere, I like a handful of the VTubers. I like Amelie and Sayu. I like Hayden. I like Laura Bailey has been such a staple of all of like the female characters from my youth. Trying to think about. I love Zeno Robinson. I love Zeno. He's great, but I've met him in person, so I have a little bit bias there. I love Zeno. He's fantastic. Who else have I met? There's been a handful of them that I've met. I don't remember if she does. I also listen to a lot of audiobooks, so I really like January Lavoie, but I don't remember if she's done anime or if she's just done like cartoons. Dude, and the girl who does or the woman who does Ida from Owl House, whose name I'm blanking on, I also love her. She's done a lot of different voices. There's been a couple. I also really like the guy who does Kronk. He does a lot of iconic voices as well. I've gone into such a rant that I've stopped drawing again. This is what happens when I get too deep into chat. I stop drawing and I feel like I don't have visual entertainment, so we're gonna do a wide shot for a second while I try to catch up on chat. Alright. For all seasons I watched while they came out are amazing to me. Yeah! We love that! Join us in the Precure love. Sailor Moon is for everyone. Deadass boy, girl. You speak the truth, Alexis. Speak the truth. Do you remember when there was a YouTube channel that posted creator clips and then suddenly disappeared in 2019? You'll have to be more specific, but then definitely that stuff happens. There were a lot of YouTube channels. There's one that posted a lot of Precure clips that eventually got copyright written into oblivion, which was a big sad. I'm trying to remember what their name was. I'm so bad with names. I love Leafeon nowadays. In the past, Vaporeon was my favorite. I feel you. Okay, I think my favorites for each generation was I definitely liked Vaporeon more. I couldn't choose between Sylveon and Umbreon. They're both fantastic. And then I like Leafeon more than Glaceon, and then I like Sylveon. Hot take, my favorite evolution. We have so many Leafeon fans here. At least no one will get the Leafeon merch before me. Facts. Keyboard, go away. No one asked you to be there. My favorite evolution is Glaceon. I always hate how long time it takes for you to get it until the end of the game. That's my one thing I'm going to be so mad about the new game. Pokemon rant real quick. I know we had this last time, but I'm going to have a Pokemon rant once more. If they sit there and don't let us have the Mega Stones until post-game for the for Legends Pizza. If we don't get it until post game, I will be upsetty spaghetti. I will be a little upsetty spaghetti if I can't have Mega Gardevoir and Mega Altaria from early game. If I have to wait until post game, I'm gonna be so salty. I used Vaporeon and Legends Arceus in my main party. Let's go! Amelie, yes, we have the same brain cells. We love that here. We love that. I love Amelie. She's fantastic. Glaceon is cool indeed. Get it? We love a good pun! Amelie is incredible too. She deserves more roles. Facts. She's fantastic. My favorite anime male voice actor is J. Michael Tatum, Robbie Daymond, and Johnny Young Bosch. Oh my god, Johnny Young Bosch takes me back. He did a really good job in Tales of Symphonia 2, Dawn of the New World. / Rise of Ragnarok, depending on which title you're going with. He did such a good job. I do love Johnny Young Bosch. He does such a good, like, good guy, innocent voice, and then also, like, a deep, evil voice. He's got the range. Oh, Christina V, another fantastic one. Christina V is also fantastic. And she has a really phenomenal range. Stop that keyboard. She has a really phenomenal range, because she also can do stuff like Marinette, but then she also does a really good job doing, like, Velvet from Tales of Berseria. My big rant has come. Doing great. I'm glad to hear that, Rosie. Tropical Rouge Precure was the first season. I watched a whole season. I loved it when it came out and excited for for FNAF Security Breach. I love your dedication to FNAF. Like, honestly, it's so cool. I think my most interaction with FNAF probably was the earlier games, because that was back when I really followed Markiplier hardcore. And I have not, like, the way you talk about FNAF and the characters, I feel like I've missed the characterizations, because most of the time it was just, like, evil robots possessed by children, but I like how much you're dedicated to it, because I feel like it's a whole different experience with FNAF, and I'm very curious about it. I'm waiting for a dragon evolution. Facts. I'm waiting for, mine is I want a flying type so bad. Give me a little, like, Altaria version of Eevee. I'm looking forward to it. Welcome in, Ben! How are you doing today? I like Christina V's voice acting. She played Kotori in Love Live, School Idol Project, English dub. Yes, you go from doing, like, Kotori to, like, Homura. She's got such a range. She's played so many roles, like Miraculous. Yeah. She's been a lot of Magical Girls, because she's also, Sailor Mars. I just mainly cared about Foxy and FNAF. Dude, I will say the Foxy that existed at the end of the newer game, which I forget the name of, she had a personality, like, the only two that I know that have personalities that I can remember is, the Security Breach Freddy, and then the Foxy... God, am I gonna get them backwards? Security Breach was the first open world walkie one with the boy. And then what was the one with the girl? That's stuck in the basement. Let's say this stuff out of context, and it sounds crazy. But the Foxy in that one cared about the girl, and that made me care. If you choose a voice actor, be Aoi Yuki. I do. I think Aoi Yuki was one of the ones who came to Anime NYC and had a talk. I think her, and then the one who did Homura. They're pretty cool. I'm so bad with names, though. FNAF Security Breach and Tropical Rouge Preview both go together. It's such a unique combo, but I can feel the vibes. I can feel the vibes. Before Precure was my thing. Then when I got into Precure, I disconnected a little from the franchise, but now I'm replaying all the generations before the 30th and getting into it. Yeah, I definitely think that it's pretty natural to get into something and then kind of, like, it fades, but then you reignite your love for it. Oh, Pokemon was my thing, and then you've been playing the Pokemon generations. Got you. I can read. I can understand. But yeah, Pokemon's another... I definitely had times where I've been really into Pokemon, and I've been like, Pokemon's not my thing anymore. Damon Mills is another one. Is another great voice actor in video games and anime. I'm doing well. Been checking out Fabric for my cosplay. Yes! I'm so excited for your cosplay. Gregory Dead is Freddy. Facts. I remember Morgan Berry. I like her voice as well. She plays women who are tomboyish girls and boys as well as in anime. See, that's also the fun thing about people's range is they can do such a good job with like go from playing like a child to like a full-grown adult to playing somebody of a different gender. It's impressive. Halloween is coming up, so what is your favorite candy? Anything sour. This has put me on a tangent. I love sour candy, probably like something in the family of like nerds or something. But people have been doing the Hot Ones challenge again and doing the hot sauce stuff. But I was watching this show one time with like my sister-in-law, I think it was. She was watching some sitcom and this guy was like, they couldn't do the Hot Ones challenge because it's like, you know, copyright and everything. So he was trying to promote something in the episode and he was doing the Sour Ones challenge and he had like lemons and stuff and I was like, holy crap. Why would I ever do the Hot Ones challenge when I can do the Sour Ones challenge? Like sitting there like working up to the most sour candy in the world, I'm like, that sounds like a dream. Like I'll literally eat an entire lemon on stream and answer questions because I love sour stuff. Or the other thing, I'll take a shot of vinegar. I am unhinged. I'll take a full shot of vinegar and be like, bring on your questions. I can handle it. But I think the point of the challenge is to suffer and not to enjoy it. Like, I would probably perish at, like, the first 3 hot sauces, but I could survive any sour food. I'm sorry, I went on my sour rant. Let's see. Catching up. Glamrock, Bonnie, and Glamrock Freddy should be a couple, cuz I know Freddy loves Bonnie. Oh, that's cute. Again, there's so much of this lore I need to catch up on. For kids, Pokemon dubs are better than the recent ones since the studio changed. Really? I haven't listened to the dubs in a hot minute. I do need to. I've been meaning to binge Pokemon. I think I've ranted about that before. There's a lot of things I need to binge. Pokemon debatably should be higher up on that list. Alright, you know what? I have had enough of doing grass. I think it's time to throw in flowers. I think I'm just gonna shove some flowery doodads in here. I'll go with light pink. I should have picked out a blue. What am I doing putting pink on my hills when I could be putting blue? Alright. Catching up. I miss Veronica Taylor's original voice as Ash. Ooh, she was good. I like both of Ash's voice actors. I also like the original 2 voice actors for Usagi as well. I do not want to be mean when I say this. I do not like the way that the Viz dubs Usagi's voice actress performs it, but I do not think that she's a bad voice actress. I think it's the direction. I've asked a Discord group and they said Poplin would be best. Ooh. We'll be poppin'. I hope you still have access to fabric stores because we lost Joanne's over here. Also, replaying Pokemon using weird Pokemon no one uses is something I recommend doing. Absolutely. Like, I will sit there and use the most, like, the Pokemon who need love. The Pokemon who need a little bit of love. Alright, I think I might switch up for an angled brush to make this flower stuff go a little bit more. Is syrup the call? Syrup is too pixely. Try the studio pen. Studio pen might be a better call. You could be the one. We'll see. Funny enough, the spin-off series of the Pokemon has great voice actors playing the. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about the new one, but I don't know what studio's in charge of it. Better than the main series. I've heard that. I've heard people have been really fond of the new one. Why do anime fans get mad when I say anime is cartoon? I think people just like the mean way of putting it. People are elitist. Trying to give people some room. No, it's still elitist. I think it's just kind of like a little bit of an elitist attitude and being like overly correct. I think there's something to be said that some stuff like it's one of those things where every anime is technically a cartoon, but not every cartoon is an anime kind of deal. And people like it when they can correct others and be ultra specific. But yeah, if people call something a cartoon, as long as they're doing it in such a way where they don't sound like they're trying to be like one of them cartoons, I don't think it really bothers me much on a personal level. I think people are free to do what they want. Alright, I need these to be more slanted. I like need to draw it and then take it and like rotate it 90 degrees. And then it looks phenomenally better. I should just do the thing where I rotate the screen. I'm just gonna do everything super sideways because it's easier for me to draw it that way. And I need to not do it all on the same grid. Do 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 do. Oh, another anime voice actor I enjoy is Dan Green. Oh my god, what a classic! Yeah, he did. I remember him as Yugi. His outtakes for Pokemon, or not Pokemon, for Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so funny. Oh, Dan Green's such a classic. Does he still do voice actor work? Has he done anything in recent times? Someone here who has been watching Pokemon Journeys, I dropped it after episode 50. Dude, the fact that there's already 50 episodes is horrific. I have not kept up. I hate when Talk doing rants, that yap with a filter and a high-pitched voice. I don't know why they all complain. Yeah, this is why I just recommend not going on TikTok. TikTok is... That's a bit of a... It's a place. It's a place and it's going downhill. I would just recommend hopping off it and... Also curate your, feed. I do highly recommend TikTok, YouTube Shorts, all of it. Just whenever you see stuff that's like rage baity and it bothers you, you gotta like motivate yourself to say, don't recommend this to me and don't comment on it. Because that stuff will just sit there and it will be like, oh, you liked this. You watched this video because it made you mad. We'll show you more stuff like that. And it's just one of the reasons why some of those algorithms just really suck. But if you work really hard to like make it behave in a way that doesn't show you that stuff anymore, it makes your experience way better. Best Pokemon gen. Dude, you're asking hard questions. My, like, best gen for me, in terms of, like, overall experience, is Gen 3. I'm a huge Hoenn person. I just really liked everything about Hoenn. I really like the Pokemon in Hoenn. However, the people will say what they want about Gen 5, but I really liked the story of Gen 5 when I was a kid. Like, I fell off Gen 4 for Pokemon. I lost my copy of Soul Silver and I got really sad and I stopped playing Pokemon. So I didn't pick up Gen 5 until Black and White 2, and then I played Black. I played Black, and then I played Black 2, and I was like, oh my god, this is really good. I really like the compelling story. And then I got upset with I got really upset with Gen 6 because I was like, the plot's not as good. The plot's dumb compared to the way too serious plot of Gen 5. And then everybody's like, we hate Gen 5. And I was like, no, you're wrong. Gen 5 has in. Oh my god. In my case, I don't know what my favorite gen is, but I love Kanto, Johto, Hisui, Sinnoh, Alola, and Galar. They're good ones. Can't wait for Legends Pizza. I like Kalos region, especially with the megas in it. I think I liked Gen 6 in terms of, like, it was a fun game to play. Like, genuinely, the Kalos region is probably one of the prettiest regions. And it, gameplay-wise, was probably the most fun. I just have to remind myself that just because I didn't like the plot doesn't mean that I didn't spend way too much time in that game. Because you could customize your character and make her look cute. What more could you ask for? And they're gonna bring that back. I can make my character look cute after they screwed us over. I'll never forgive Scarlet and Violet for being like, you get this ugly uniform. They'll have... Nintendo will hear from my lawyers. I hated that. Pokemon tagline is, gotta catch 'em all. The game you only get 6 Pokeballs. Yeah. I agree the direction of the voice acting and not the problem with the voice actor and talents. Yeah. But also, I know I'm picky about that. A lot of people like that the Viz Media dub is really campy. I didn't like it because that, like, the original dub was, like, bad, but bad in a different way. The other one, like, there's too much about the Viz Media dub to me, and I can't listen to it. One, because they use honorifics, and that's grating to listen to. But two, they sit there and voice act that, show the way that people make fun of Boku no Hero. Like the way that people make anime sound like. Oh, the way the pine. I don't know if anybody has also noticed Pine Sol recently, but Pine Sol keeps doing these really funny ads on their social media. I highly recommend me recommending Pine Sol. No, but they do these silly videos where they have like a random like VR chat, not VR chat, Vroid model, like a 3D model of an anime guy, and he's like, I need to clean my room, but it's too hard when I have to save the world. It's so it's so funny. Also, welcome in. I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, so please correct me. FB Honer. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Welcome in. How are you today? Um, but yeah, that's what the voice acting is for Sailor Moon. It's very much like, I'm Usagi Sakino, and I'm a middle school student. I've got to save the world, but all I really want to do is eat lunch. And I'm like, please stop talking like that. But that's a personal preference. I know people love that. People love that stuff. And they can enjoy it because I don't. It's not for me. If you look him up, I'm sure he's done recent stuff. I might. It's Dan Greenwright. Can we complain about how ZA already has DLC without even being released? Yeah, I think that was tacky of them. It's very tacky of them to be like, here's some paid DLC that's probably going to run you 20, 30 bucks. Here's this DLC you're already going to pay for. And I was like, at least have the decency to wait until the game is out before you talk about your DLC. But I'm hoping that enough backlashes happen that they're like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't do that. YouTube is better than TikTok. There you go. Find your happy place. My favorite gens are Gen 5 and Gen 6 are my absolute beloveds. Finally, somebody likes Gen 5. It's not just me. Oh no, Heart Gold and Soul Silver are the best remakes in my opinion. They're really good remakes. I lost my copy of Soul Silver. I was in the middle of playing Soul Silver, and I had transferred all of my Pokemon that I had from like Leaf Green, Fire Red, Sapphire, and Emerald. All of my Pokemon I had transferred over because I always move up mine every gen. And also from like I don't remember if you could have everything from Diamond and Pearl, but I would have added them if that was also the case. Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. And I lost my copy of Soul Silver, and I was like, that's like 5 years of Pokemon that I've lost. And I got really depressed, and I was like, I can't engage with Pokemon anymore. This is what I mean, where it's like you can fall out of love with something. I lost my copy, and I was like, all of my Pokemon are gone. There's nothing, life is not worth it anymore. What's the point of Pokemon if I don't have my Pokemon anymore? And then like a couple years later, I found out it was in the what? No, 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 no. um, but a couple years later, I found out it was in my winter jacket coat pocket, which is why I couldn't find it. Because it was in my winter jacket, and I was looking not in my winter jacket. For some reason, I put the copy of the game in that coat. And the coat also I got too big for. So it went to my little sister. And my little sister found it. And she's like, I think this is your Pokemon games. And I was like, hallelujah. So happy. I was like, I can play Pokemon again. And then I played Black and White 2. It's my sad TM Pokemon backstory. All right, I can catch up with chat. I feel like every time I get close to catching up with chat, it gets too far. Best gen is 7. Let's go 7 lovers. The funny thing in France is that a cartoon and anime are both anime, and in Italy, anime and cartoons are both cartoons. Anyone from France, in Italy, correct me in chat. Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know stuff like that. But see, good information, because now you're just like, if people are correcting you, it's like, well, it's a cultural thing. It's not like somebody's just being like, I want to say something the way I want to say it. It's literally a cultural thing. I played Platinum and Heart Gold, good ones. I have a friend who says that Sword and Shield are basically Pokemon hallway and Pokemon Passage. There do be a lot of walking. I have some sticky toffee pudding. Yum! Share with chat. You can't sit here and talk about your delicious food and not have enough for chat. Sword and Shield are much better than Scarlet and Violet. Sorry, that's my opinion. Of me and my sister, Gomina, sorry. That's fine. I think that visually it's prettier. I think Scarlet and Violet's one of the ugliest games in the franchise. I liked the open world gameplay. Actually, I like the open world gameplay of both. They're both different, but I think I really ended up loving both of them despite hating both of them initially because of visuals. The Pokemon opening in 4Kids is unforgettable. Facts, dude. All the Pokemon openings are so good in English. Even the third gen. Dude, don't. I'll do a little Pokemon karaoke. You watch out. You watch out talking about Pokemon music. I'll start singing. And then I'll get copyright struck. If I'm good enough. I will say other companies have done that before, releasing DL before the game. Look at Sonic Crossworlds Racing. I think it's different for something like Sonic Crossworld, because isn't their DLC just added characters? They're like, you can purchase these additional characters, which I think is not as bad as being like, there's a whole section of the game that should have just been in the game. I love these latest songs, Pokemon Johto, Born to be a Winner, Master Quest, and Unbeatable. I'm Unbeatable. I can sing all of those. They're so good. Dude, the first couple ones. I think it's around Diamond and Pearl that I start not knowing the openings. But some of them were so good. The first and second Pokemon opening on 4Kids are classic and nostalgic facts. True, but ZA costs $60 and a DLC is probably going to be $30 to make up $90. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing that, like, sucks about it. It's like, I'm pretty sure it's $90 for, because I'm getting the Switch 2 version of everything. Not that I even know if there is a non-Switch 2 version. But, like, I think I've spent, like, $90 pre-ordering on the Pokemon store for the bonuses. I think it's $90 now, and the DLC is going to be, like, $30, and it's just annoying. Like, it doesn't put me out, but it definitely is not going to be cost-effective for a lot of people, which is very annoying. Especially kids. Like, as a kid, I would not have been able to afford that. That was me with White 2. I thought I lost, so I rebought the game only to find the OG White 2 in my other DS. That's the worst when you put them in other cases. You're like, oh, I'm gonna put it in the case so it doesn't, like, get lost, and then it's in the wrong case. Classic. In Japanese, Gen 6 opening songs are my favorite. Gita Banban is among the most enjoyable. I think I just need a day where I put on the Pokemon soundtracks and just listen to them, because they have good music. I still have the original file. We love that. Funny fact, I played Pokemon Black and Pokemon White 2. Ooh, you're crossing over. One of my favorite Pokemon is Aromatisse. I've always loved her, but people seem to hate her. No, she's so cute. What are you talking about? She's adorable. What's your ranking for the Pokemon remakes? Dude, I have to remember which ones have gotten remade. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna use the thing I have here. Alright. Well, let's not do red. Red might be a little drying. Why not do blue? Alright. Number 1 remake that I've enjoyed. Probably Soul Silver. I think Soul Silver has been one of the strongest remakes. I mean, do we constitute Leaf Green as a remake? Leaf Green and Fire Red? Since they're just remakes of, what is it, Blue and Red? Blue, Red, and Yellow. I really like Soul Silver. What constitutes a remake and which one just constitutes a sequel? Because I like Platinum, but I don't think Platinum's really a remake. I guess I do like, shoot, I'm gonna get the name wrong. Was it Alpha Sapphire? Alpha Sapphire. Things I do on my backgrounds. I think Alpha Sapphire is next. Who else has gotten a remake? Oh. I don't know where last place is. I don't remember how many we have. Last place. Last place is gonna be Let's Go Eevee. I hate Let's Go Eevee. Just because I'm poor in that game. It's so hard to have money because I have to spend it all on Pokeballs. I hate this game. What else exists as a remake? BDSP was not that bad. BDSP was better once I played it and actually finished it. I'd have to think about it. My sis loves Noctowl and she feels sometimes that that this Pokemon should be in all the Pokemon games. It's a good one! Noctowl's a classic. I feel like he's in most. Unless, I guess they've been skirking some of the Gen 2 Pokemon in the newer games. Characters. Courses. For my fave opening, Galactic Battle, which is the third one of the Diamond and Pearl arcs. I'll have to listen to that one. I don't know if I know that off the top of my head. I prefer Battle Dimension. I have to remember how they go. Because But the one's like da 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 Battle Frontier. Pokemon, you the best you can be and find your destiny. It's the master plan, the power's in your hand. Pokemon, I like that one too. That's me skirking the copyright. Thank God I live in the UK. It's cheaper. Yeah, thank God for the power of currency. Um, do no scroll up. For me, Aromatisse is one of those Pokemon that I have a love-hate relationship with. There. Have you done 3D before? I have. I've done some 3D art before. I haven't done it recently. I need to get back into it because I was gonna do a 3D VTuber model and I've just been really lazy. Because it takes, I'm just like, it's the long-term stuff I don't want to do where I'm like, oh, I don't want to rig it. I don't want to rig it. I'd rather rig a 2D model than a 3D model. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are my favorite remakes for sure. Love the regions. The fact that they did both Kanto and Johto in one game is peak. I finally finished the thumbnail for my next video. Let's go! Let's go progress. I'm guilty sometimes spending money on snacks and stuff while it's hard for me to find a job. I feel like you gotta treat yourself. Like, life has to have a balance between, like, sometimes the serotonin that you get from giving yourself a little treat is worth it, even if you're not saving. Obviously, everything in moderation. You don't want to give yourself too many little treats, and then you also don't want to have to always, like, sit there and save and then suffer for months on end to buy that one big thing. There needs to be a balance between, it will take a little longer to get the things I need in life, but sometimes you need a treat. And I wish you best of luck on the job hunt. The job market could be better, but I believe in you, and I believe in people taking you in and giving you a job. Employment is important. Omega Ruby, which I played, I really liked it, but I hate the dive mechanics as the original game, but I'm happy for the new story and the new epilogue and the new Omegas. Yeah, I like the polish that it had on there. Some of the new mechanics were a bit funky monkey. Fire Red and Leaf Green Gen 1. Okay, so if we're gonna count Leaf Green, I'm putting Leaf Green here. I did like Leaf Green a lot. Made me learn Braille. Soul Silver, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, BDSP, and then Let's Go EVA. Okay, so I got them all. So 5th is last place, but like that's my ranking. I always see people saying Aromatisse is ugly, blah blah blah, but she's in Legends. Yeah, she's a queen. They just don't understand Peak. Oh yeah, I love Let's Go. My sis loves Let's Go Pikachu. I hate the game just because I'm poor in there, and I'm bitter about it, and I want to customize my cute little Eevee, but I can't because I spent all my money on Pokeballs, and I can't afford anything at the can't afford anything at the stupid department store. But my Eevee deserves a cute little flower crown. I can sing all the Galactic Battle songs. We love that. And I need a chat sings karaoke. I'm gonna make you guys sing instead of me. In the past, my sister played red and I played blue. We both played yellow for each other. Oh, that's so... with each other. For each other, with each other. Either way, that's adorable. I love the sibling bonding. My sister and I used to do that where she would get the other one. Like, she had Heart Gold. That was also sad TM backstory for her Heart Gold. It got stolen. She brought it to school and she had it in her little pencil box and somebody stole her copy of Heart Gold and she was like, I'm never playing Pokemon again. It was really sad because she used to buy the twin games because she got Ruby. She had gold, I had silver, or I think I had silver and she had maybe gold, I don't know. I had silver and the companion wanted that. Then she, she did ruby, I did sapphire. I did pearl, she did diamond, because pearl is my birthstone, diamond's her birthstone, so that really worked out for us. And then she did Heart Gold and I did Soul Silver. And then her copy of Heart Gold got stolen and she fell in love with Pokemon, which fair enough, man. That, like, I'm lucky enough I recovered my Soul Silver, but her copy getting stolen at school was like really messed up. I felt really bad for her. Childhood memories. I can sing the Yo, the Pokerap! Bring back the Pokerap. Haven't been able to find a job for months. It took me 6 months to get my first job out of college. It takes forever and it sucks, and I wish you the best. But once you get that job, man, you'll be way better. Pokemon. Let's do it. Let's sing. Other Pokemon I love is Swanna. Swanna is one of the best. I love a good bird. Voice actresses of Pikachu and Eevee deserve awards. Fair. So fair. This is why people need to save up money. Yeah, I know, it's too expensive. Just saying, if I sing the Pokemon intros, I'll sing them in Spanish. That's so cool, though. No, that's the best part. By all means, sing it. I want to hear the different languages ones. Dude, I used to make edits when I was younger of any popular songs, especially like Disney songs, and I would make edits with the multilingual versions. Like I did that. I remember Let It Go. I had a very back in my day before it got copyright struck into oblivion. I had an account that did the multilingual version of Let It Go that got like 1 million views, and it was super exciting. And then they were like, "This is copyrighted," and I was like, "What's copyright?" And it got taken away from me. I was really upset about that. I got so many views though, man. Let It Go was a good time. Just same. I went for Diamond as I love Dialga. Fair enough. I played Pearl originally, but I love Dialga the most. That's why I played Brilliant Diamond. Some Pokemon that I love are Meloetta and Shaman. They're so cute. The little mythicals are so fun. Also, I think I have reached a point where I stopped drawing. I think I have not drawn for like 18 minutes, so this might be the good place to wrap up the stream. But I've loved the energy today. I also love that we all unapologetically have hot takes about Pokemon. I love it. It's been a good stream. It's been a good time catching up with everybody. I guess my final notes for today are, if you have not seen Knights of Guinevere and you can handle gore and swearing and you enjoy that, it's free on YouTube. Please watch it. Please support it. I also bought a lot of merch for it, so whenever that gets released, expect content for that as well. I'm so excited. I appreciate everybody for hanging out with me today. And yeah. Let It Go slaps in Arabic and I love the Greek version, sounds so good. Is that the new region for Pokemon? I wish. But yes, I will see you guys next time. So until then, bye-bye!